storyline, it starts from Insignificant, right?
Yeah, which we shot earlier.
Which we also shot, which is a music video that's also on the channel.
Yeah, so Insignificant, what was the story of Insignificant was...
There's two ways to look at it, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's two ways to look at it. The first way to look at it is to understand how, as human beings, sometimes we have to get rid of our old self to create a new self, you know? It's almost you have to die to your old self in order to grasp the ways in which the world actually works.
Yeah.
It relates to Plato's cave in terms of we've always been told to go to school and told to get this and told to get that and to do all of these things, but as soon as you realize that, oh, there's actually so much more to the life, you have to get rid of that old self and sort of create that new version of yourself and then continue going up in the world. So Insignificant sort of explores how sometimes that process can be a little bit scary and it's like you're running away from yourself, right?
Yeah.
That's one way to look at it. And the second way to look at it is in Insignificant, the topics of mental health and AI is spoken about, which are prominent and controversial topics. And
but topics that actually do need to be talked about.
Yeah, that need to be spoken about, you know?
Yeah, so like with Plato's cave, a lot of one of the topics that was talked, or one of the things that was said on there was social media.
Yeah.
And with mental health and all of that, like social media is the worst,
bro.
When it comes to mental health, it's the worst because you are being bombarded. Because the way the brain works, it works based on it gets like the way you get information.
Yeah.
You know, like in the past, for example, when we got information, we needed a newspaper, right?
Yeah.
You just took a newspaper, you sat, I don't know, 2 hours, and you read through what's going on in the world. But now you can just take your phone and boom, 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 boom. You're being bombarded with like
it's too much information.
And at that point, especially when you're bombarded with a constant barrage of negative information, it can be detrimental to your mental health. It can fuck you up mentally.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what one of the things Insignificant was exploring about a person who's like, just trying to deal with his mental health, and he's being forced to, medicate, and he's like, oh no, I don't want to be on medication. But, then he also, it goes to him, running from himself and, going through all of this thing. That's what leads to Plato's cave.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's really, like, important that, like, he mentioned the medication. And sometimes it's almost as if, like, I guess the older you get, or maybe not even older you get, the more insightful you become.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The more you realize
the more experience you have.
So, like, the more experience you have, the more insightful you become, the more you realize that there's more to the world than what the eye sees, right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about the groups of elites, for example, right?
Oh, yeah.
One of the ways you can suppress a population is to
control information.
Or to bombard people with too much things that they can't even control. So a lot of the times, too much social media, and then maybe that stress can lead you to maybe like mental health issues, right? And then for mental health issues, you're getting medicated.
Yeah.
And now you have the pharmaceutical companies playing a huge role in that.
Like what he said is real, because you need to understand that there is someone who's gonna like making bank at the end of the there is someone making the money at the end of the day. So when you have, especially with teenagers, kids, like you have teenagers being given like mental medications, like being given ADHD pill, this pill, and it's like you have to ask yourself the question: who is getting, like, you're buying it, you're not getting it for free, you're not being given it, you are paying for it. So you have to ask yourself the question: who is the one getting all the money from this? Who is getting paid, or who is benefiting off this?
Always somebody benefiting from these things.
Exactly. There is always going to be someone benefiting off, people's, people's, I wouldn't even say demise, but like people's, the bad thing that happens to people.
And the side effects of some of this medication is suicidal thoughts, man. So it's like you're getting medication for anxiety or depression, you take the medication and now you're feeling suicidal.
Sad. Yeah.
So like in this, that's why in the music of the music video for Insignificant, I'm rapping and singing about these things. So the other version of me is almost as if that version is like from the future, right? And he's being sent by the group of elites to come and kill me,
like,
so that we can stop rapping about and singing about these very things and having these conversations on platforms that are growing very fast, right? So it's kind of trippy and scary, you know what I'm saying, at the same time, but it's also like the truth, right?
Yeah.
So that music video explores those two different worlds almost at the same time. How does that connect? So now, like at the end of Insignificant, there's a shooting scene, and we don't know who gets shot, right?
Yeah.
So that's when it picks up in Plato's cave, and now the guy Richie, the guy that you spoke about, who acted as a person who's like my guardian angel kind of thing, saves me. He's almost, so in this situation, the two meanings of Insignificant, the elite one and getting rid of your old self, continues in Plato's cave. So in terms of the elite thing, Richie, the actor, plays as an underground activist leader who likes the work that I'm doing and sees potential in the work that we're doing. And he's telling me, yo, you know, like, you have to read about these papers. And that's why the music video starts off with capitalism, mental health, corruption, right? Plato's cave. And what he's trying to tell me to do is like continue doing this, working against the elites. Then again, he's also there at Plato's cave, and he tells me about what it means to step out of Plato's cave, and how going back into the darkness doesn't make the light go away, right? So the two topics are played with throughout the music video of Plato's cave.
Yeah. So a lot of the especially also in Insignificant, like one of the things that was said was talked about AI. It talked about wealth inequality. You know, it talked about propaganda, money and corruption, blah blah blah, and all of these things. And then we have to ask ourselves the question: the people who are the most powerful in the world right now, before they were the medical companies, now they are the technological. They are the tech billionaires. They're the tech oligarchs. The people who are basically who have the most advancement in technology right now. So you look at Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook. You look at Elon Musk. You look at someone
real power,
Sam Altman. All of these people, they have been able to control, I would say, the masses or the population with their with their basically consumption of the whole technology area. So whatever they decide is right, or whatever they decide is society, is what it is.
That's true, and he's right. The thing is like the group that controls America, that controls the West, that now controls even like the rest of the world, countries like continents like Africa, South America, and Asia, are these same people. So that's really the topics that we sort of explain in Plato's cave. And if you look at Plato's cave in the earlier part, there's the papers on the wall that say all of these topics. So you can go back and watch that and come back to this video and really understand deeper what we're trying to say here.
Yeah.